warm welcome to Northeast Tonight, the show that decodes the region. I am Wasbir Hussain. It clearly looks like the second coming of the anti-foreigner uprising in the Northeast. The publication of the final draft NRC and the fact that 4 million people have not found their names in the list have given rise to politicking and, of course, speculation that most of these people are illegal migrants. Now, this has triggered drives against illegal migrants in neighboring states like Meghalaya, Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Nagaland, and Mizoram. In most of these states, it is student groups like the Khasi Students' Union in Meghalaya and the All Arunachal Pradesh Students' Union in Arunachal that have started leading the Oust migrant campaigns. Even in Tripura, some organizations representing ethnic groups are demanding an NRC-type enumeration exercise. Where can this agitation lead to? Will this campaign that we are witnessing in Assam's neighborhood confine itself to ousting illegal migrants, or will it generally turn xenophobic? Will people be willing to make a distinction between illegal migrants and outsiders, by which term non-locals are referred to in the northeastern states? Well, to discuss this issue and more, I am joined from New Delhi by one of the main protagonists of the anti-foreigner movement in Assam and former Chief Minister, Mr. Prafulla Kumar Mohanty, BJP spokesman, Mr. Bijon Mahajan, Senior Assam Congress leader, Mr. Pradut Bordoloi, Dr. Sheila Bara, academic and commentator, writer Sunil Nath, and Assam Youth Congress Vice President Ankita Datta are with me at the studios, and from Shillong, I am joined by the General Secretary of the Khasi Students' Union, Mr. Donald Taba. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Northeast Tonight. I'd like to go straight to you in New Delhi, Mr. Prafulla Kumar Mohanty. We're asking this question, whether this is the second round of the anti-foreigner agitation in the Northeast. You were, of course, one of the protagonists of the Assam movement. What do you think today?
Actually, the state like Assam, NRC is required, and first NRC was prepared and first published in 1951, and a copy of that NRC was with the Congress and Jamiat Ulama Hind and Assam government. After that, the illegal infiltration is going on, and local people became the minority. Therefore, we demanded that NRC should be prepared. And probably you know that in 1979, when we became the President and General Secretary, Mr. Brigu Kumar Phukon and myself, and at the time, Election Commissioner S.L. Shagdhar, he convened a meeting of the election officer on the OT. And in the meantime, the Mongoldui constituencies by-election, they prepared for by-election, and Shagdhar given a comment that lakhs of foreigners' names are included in the electoral roll. At that time, Gulab Barbara was the Chief Minister of Assam. Then at the Shivsagar, we decided that ASU launch agitation from various
yes, Mr. Mohanty,
long
that
time,
is a very good...
about 21 demand.
Yes,
yeah.
Mr. Mohanty, that was a very brief and concise history that is the genesis of the Assam movement. That will be very useful to begin this discussion. But my question to you, before I go to Mr. Pradut Bordoloi of the Congress, Mr. Prafulla Mohanty, don't you think that even the AGP came to power only on one agenda, that is to free Assam from illegal migrants? You had been the Chief Minister, your party was in government for almost 10 years, over 2 terms. Had this issue been tackled earlier, do you think today the scale of this problem would have been much less?
No, we have taken the issue with the central government because you know that as per provision of the Assam Accord, central government, Home Ministry of the central government is responsible for implementation of the Assam Accord. we request the Prime Minister at that time to prepare an NRC, and we tried to start the process in 1986. But a few tribal organizations, they opposes it. They claim that we are indigenous people. Why we will be going to include our names in the NRC? Then that whole process was stopped.
Yeah.
And after that, we are trying our level best, but central government not come forward to help us.
Okay.
And you know that some situation became worsened due to insurgent groups, uprising of the insurgent groups. The situation changed. But we demanded to the central government that they should instruct the Registrar General and etc. For preparation of the NRC for Northeast region, mainly Assam.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Prafullo Mahanto, kindly stay on. Mr. Pradut Bodoloi, the whole NRC, we are starting this debate because there is an NRC, because the issue has reached gigantic proportions. The NRC itself is such a huge exercise, Mr. Pradut Bodoloi. The process started in 2005, and when your party was in power in Assam, and it took 4 years. Only after a writ petition was filed by an NGO that the Supreme Court came into the picture. So the allegation is that the Congress, during the Congress term, the process did start or take shape, but it never gained momentum. The allegation is that the Congress did not want to go ahead with the NRC for political reasons. How do you respond?
Wasbir, we must not forget that NRC has been a historical legacy, and NRC was started by late Bishnuram Medhi, the second Chief Minister of Assam, way back in 1951. See, 2005, when NRC was taken up again, we must realize and understand that it was a proposal in the tripartite meeting by the government of Assam, when ASU wanted a review of the Assam Accord, and then when ASU insisted that there should be a tripartite meeting because onus of implementation of the Assam Accord lies on the government of India. So that is why on the 2nd of May 2005, the bilateral meeting took place here in Janta Bhavan in Dispur.
Yeah.
Then Sri Tarun Gogoi took up the cudgel, and the subsequent meeting was held in Delhi, the tripartite meeting on the 5th of May 2005, where Assam government, Sri Tarun Gogoi, the then Chief Minister, proposed that parallelly the implementation of the Assam Accord, the digital updation of the NRC should be taken up. It was never in the agenda.
Yeah,
but
Mr. Bodoloi,
NRC should be updated in this meeting.
Mr. Bodoloi, that pilot project which you did, the pilot project, after that there was no movement at all. I'd like to take the view here of BJP.
No. Let me tell you. Let me tell you the thing. I must put the things in proper perspective. You must realize that once it was decided in 2005 that updation of NRC would be taken up, and he would agree. It's such a sensitive issue. Then a cabinet subcommittee was formed under Dr. Bhumidhar Barman. I also happen to be a member.
Yeah.
So this is being such a touchy and such a sensitive subject. We decided in a meeting, that subsequent meeting with the stakeholders, that modalities have to be worked out. Preparation of the modalities took a lot of time because every time, and then the cabinet subcommittee took separate meetings with each of the stakeholders.
So you are saying
Not
that
only
there
Assam,
was headway.
Students Union, every state.
But
no, you must realize this.
My question
with
to you,
not
Mr.
only
Bodoloi,
all Assam Students Union, the all Assam Minority Students Union, the Assam Sahitya Sabha, and then it took a lot of time. That eventually it was decided, instead of implementing the modalities all over the state, the government decided that it will be implemented as a pilot project in 2 locations, Chaigaon and Borpeta. But as you know, in the midst of the implementation, all of a sudden, very unfortunate incidents took place in Borpeta.
Yes, we'll come back to that. We know about that. That is the charge that you have to answer. We will go to that. But Mr. Bijon Mahajan, that child, I will ask this question to Donald Thaba as well before I come to my other panelists in the studio. Mr. Bijon Mahajan, there is this impression that first of all it was the AGP that was in power for 10 years. Then we had the Congress which was in power for long 15 years. We have two Congress leaders in our panel today. Mr. Bijon Mahajan, do you think that this infiltration issue would not have reached this scale, this level, had action been taken immediately after the signing of the Assam Accord in 1985?
Absolutely, absolutely. You see, there is an old English saying, you cannot eat the cake and have it too. You see, the present situation, different political parties, the will of every political party should be, when the final draft, not the draft, when the final NRC comes out, the aim of every political party should be that not a single foreigner's name should be there, and any Indians, no Indian citizens should be left out.
Yes.
So there should not be politics over it. Now, being a student of law, let me put it in proper perspective. Who started it, you want to take credit, that's a different matter. I will not name parties. But how it came into being, let us go by the law. Citizenship Rules 2003, as related to NRC, it came by way of a notification inserted. Rule 4A, what does it state? When NRC would be updated or NRC would be there, no question of updatation, when NRC would be there in all other states, it would be house-to-house enumeration. In Assam, applications were invited by the residents. So it started in 2009 and the pilot projects, mind you, one thing, yes, it started during those two pilot projects in two revenue cycles of Soyam and Borpeta, disastrously because of the law and order situation at Borpeta. Now, such a big exercise has taken place now at the behest, under the supervision of the Supreme Court. It has been updated, but Assam is peaceful. People are shouting from outside on ground zero, there is peace and tranquility.
Which is a good thing.
People are creating to do. People are trying to create disharmony amongst people. This should be stopped by all political parties.
No doubt.
In Assam, Congress wants to take credit. Parliament is being stalled by TMC in hand in glove with Congress. What is this?
No, let's not go into that now. We'll come to that. We'll come to that.
You want to take credit, and in all India level, you want to discredit the entire thing, which has been by under the supervision of the Supreme Court. It has been carried out.
Mr. Prafulla Kumar Mohanto, my question was, Mr. Bijon Mahajan has gone into technicalities. I'll come to those technicalities, is also important, but three of our panelists have not even spoken. Mr. Prafulla Kumar Mohanto, the question is, my question is very simple. Had the government, I'm not saying particularly the Congress and the AGP, had this action been taken maybe 20 years ago, maybe 25 years ago, do you think the problem would have been much in control? Today it is almost going out of control. We have 4 million people whose names are not there. There's a lot of politics going into the NRC issue. We had to use 2 years, at least the people of the entire government machinery was used to publish, to get this NRC going. So it's a great cost, 1220 crore rupees spent. So it's a huge exercise. Now my question is, had action been taken 25 years ago, do you think the situation would have been much better in control?
I think so, or I believe it. But the central government not come forward to prepare the NRC at that time. That is the main problem.
Mr. Pradut Bodoloy, do you agree that the state government had no role? It was only the center that did not do. Is it so simple?
No, it's not that simple, Wasbir. State government should have taken initiative, and that is what precisely happened in 2005 when Sri Tarun Gogoi government took initiative and it was taken up. But I wanted to tell you one thing, that obviously the role of the central government, especially for the updation of NRC, is very, very important. And then, there has to be proper coordination with the central government, and it happened. Modalities were very important, and devising the modalities, the mechanism took a lot of time, and because of these Borpeta incidents, it was put in some cold storage for some time to settle down things, and then again it was taken up. And you must realize Mr. Bijan Mahajan, I have heard, I have not seen him, I have just, I can hear whatever he is saying. You see, Mr. Amit Shah, his party's president, whatever Amit Shah was saying on the floor of the parliament, saying that, this NRC was taken up in 2005. Yes, it was taken up by Congress government in 2005. And it was in fact taken forward in all honest way, and then because of some incidents here and there, and because of law and situation, it was delayed. It was having a very bumpy road.
Yeah.
But again, it was taken up, and we must realize that the Honorable Supreme Court intervened only in 2013. So before that, all the
infrastructure,
all the machinery was put in place. Before Pratik Hajela,
yeah, I know where you are going to. You are going to say
coordinator.
that your government had put the machinery in place. I'll come back to that. Mr. Donald Thaba, I'll come to you.
We had all the
Donald
sincerity.
Thaba,
That is what I wanted to tell you.
yeah, let me take a view from Shillong. Donald Thaba, the General Secretary of the Khasi Students Union. I have to come back to my studio to the other panelists who have not spoken here. Donald, same question to you. Do you think your organization is out on the streets checking vehicles? You said that you will put up your own check gates. Obviously, you are doing it because you think, your perception is that the situation is about to go out of hand. There's a huge number of illegal influx. A lot of people may go from Assam and enter your state. Now my question is, do you think the action could have been taken by the government maybe 25 years ago, soon after the signing of the Assam Accord?
You see, with respect to the state of Assam, I will not comment anything. But with regards to the check gates that we set up, I will make one thing clear, that Meghalaya is not a refugee camp or an IDP camp. So when the NRC exercise is being carried out, after we've seen the first list or the first draft and the final draft of the NRC exercise in Assam, it came into our knowledge through the media that around 40 lakh people were rejected, which we out here we call them as NRC rejects. Yeah. So there is a high possibility of those people that they will infiltrate, they will try to sneak into our state.
So that is why
based on the facts that we shared about 900 kilometers of porous border, and we don't have effective mechanisms or laws to curb or tackle influx. So we have seen that people from Bangladesh, they do not enter Meghalaya directly. Yes, there are instances when they enter Meghalaya directly, but the gateway is always Assam.
Always
they will first enter in Assam,
okay, that
get
is
some
the reason
documents from
that
Assam,
fears have
and then
led
enter
the
Meghalaya.
To come up with this check gate idea. Dr. Sheila Bora,
you see, regarding the check gates also,
already we have seen that there is a lot of politics over this. You have seen what you have heard what Mamata Banerjee had to say. So now, are you worried about the politics, or do you think this action could have been taken maybe 25 years, at least 25 years ago?
Yes, definitely, it's very worrying. The politics is very worrying. There is no doubt in anybody's mind that Assam has a lot of illegal migrants. But the thing is, why are we mixing up all the issues is the problem. NRC is most welcome. We were all a part of the Assam agitation and we wanted that. So the NRC is the most welcome output of that agitation, I feel. But since the NRC is being mixed up with other issues, now the Citizen Amendment Act has come. Now we are talking of the ILPs. Inner line permits. APSU is talking about non-citizens and clean Arunachal from the non-citizens. Whom do they mean by non-citizens? We are not clear about that as well. So these issues are all coming together, being clubbed together and creating absolutely confusion.
That's a very valid point which Dr. Silabara has made. All Arunachal Students Union, for example, they have intensified their drive to check inner line permits. But all outsiders, that means all non-Arunachalis in Arunachal or all non-Meghalayans in Meghalaya are not illegal migrants. So that differentiation has to be very clear, isn't it, Mr. Sunil Nath?
Obviously, because if we don't differentiate between Indian citizens from outside Northeast coming into the Northeast and illegal foreigners, we fail ourselves, we put ourselves into a difficult position because we have to be very clear about what we want. And all over the Northeast, now again I'll go back and say, like Sheila Ma'am has said, Arunachal has said, like you said,
So basically,
non-citizens. So
yeah.
non-Indian citizens, they should not be here in Assam, they should not be there in Arunachal, they should not be there in Meghalaya. So it's very simple.
So
Yes,
what we want is very clear, Mr. Sunilnath. We want all illegal migrants to be detected and they have to be, deported or expelled or whatever. So that is one we want. But we at the same time we don't want Indian nationals to be harassed in any way.
Sir.
We want the names in the NRC as far as Assam is concerned. As far as the other states, Indian citizens must be allowed to stay and there has to be status.
May I put
status
in a
quo.
word?
Yes.
May I put in a word?
Yes.
Actually, what is happening? People from the Northeast are being harassed in the streets of Delhi. That has been happening. The contrary is not happening. Against the halagulla that has been created, what is happening?
Right.
Students from Northeast
absolutely
are getting a raw deal.
That is
happening.
very much there. If we start that, we'll go into a different debate. I'll come back to that, Mr. Sunilnath. Ankita Datta, question to you is, for 15 years, I was asking this question to Mr. Pradut Bodoloy as well. For 15 years, the Congress was in power in Assam without a break. The NRC issue first came up in 2005, and for 10 years after that, one full decade, the Congress government could not really push ahead with this whole exercise of coming up with an NRC, which is a list of citizens.
It's wrong, Wasbir. It's wrong. How can you say that Congress government has not done anything? You
No,
know
I didn't say that.
It was
I
a
didn't say
Congress
that. I'm
government
saying that
from
you could not.
2005. It was carried forward.
No, I didn't say that Congress government had not done anything. Mr. Bodoloy,
I think you are putting it very
that will be
wrongly.
incorrect. I didn't say that. And I didn't say that Congress government had done, as you said, prepared the infrastructure and all, kept everything ready, but the push was just not there.
I don't get any one
Not
thing.
only
Infrastructure kept ready in 2005 or whatever be it. Infrastructure, what infrastructure is needed? At the behest of the Supreme Court, it has taken place. And mind you, the law and order situation today is so good. The entire NRC exercise, entire draft has been published. Not a single law and order problem, but two only small projects that two revenue circles. There was such a big, so many people died. Law and order problem. Government did not have the will to stop it, and that is why it happened. So making NRC, Congress taking, state units of the Congress taking credit is ridiculous. Government could not do anything. Entire exercise has taken place in Assam. Draft has been published. Not a single law and order problem. Two pilot projects in two small revenue circles. It was absolute chaos. Why? There was no law and order problem. Law and order, to take a law and order situation, no government was there at the time.
Let the young Congress leader answer this question. My question is very simple. It took 10 years. I didn't say that the Congress has not done anything. My question is, why was that push not there? So the allegation is that the willpower was lacking, found wanting. That is the allegation. It's a simple question to you.
I completely disagree to it, because when Dr. Manmohan Singh first, he sanctioned 489 crores for appointment and creating the whole infrastructure that was required. And why are you repeatedly saying that there was no push, there was no push? If there was so much push from the BJP government, why was it the Supreme Court who told the Honorable CM of Assam that funds should be released for the required funds?
But the BJP came to power in 2014
so
only.
That's when the Supreme Court had to intervene, that they
Supreme
have
Court
if they were
intervened
so
before that.
interested. No, Supreme Court intervened later and told the CM Sarbananda Sonowal's government that why are funds being not released for the NRC updation process. It has been said, and why, and if that is the case, if we are talking about the big push.
After the Assam Public Works filed that writ petition in 2009, Abhijit Sharma and company, only after that things moved. That is also a reality. Ankita, I'll come back to you.
Let us put it
I'll
in
come
proper
back to you. I'll go for a
perspective.
short
Today,
break.
the government must be given credit, although it has been at the behest of the Supreme Court. Such a big exercise, not a single incident of violence.
Right.
Credit must go to the government and to the people of Assam. And will of the government is very strong. And at the behest of the Supreme Court, this has happened. And this has happened because the will of the government and NRC needs to be published at the behest of the Supreme Court, and that has been carried out.
When I come back from this break, I'll go straight to Mr. Prafulla Kumar Mahanta. Prafulla Kumar Mahanta, you know, now the Congress is
Yes.
in another kind of a controversy because the WikiLeaks cables in the last 48 hours or little more than that, which has been hitting the headlines nationally. The WikiLeaks cable says two things. One, that the Congress president, then Congress President Ms. Sonia Gandhi, in 2006, when your party basically in 2006, when your party was also seeking re-election, she came and said that we are ready to dilute, we are ready to amend the Foreigners Act. The basic indication in the WikiLeaks is that if you amend the Foreigners Act, it will be difficult to send the illegal migrants back. And again, the same WikiLeaks again said that then Chief Minister Mr. Tarun Gogoi wanted to come up with an alternative to the IMDT Act. Again, the insinuation is that that will help the illegal migrants. This answer will have to go to Mr. Pradut Bodloy as well as Ankita. But before that, Mr. Prafulla Kumar Mahanta, what are your thoughts to these WikiLeaks charges?
That is their independent views, and I think that there's no question of amendment the Citizenship Act, and
Foreigners Act.
if they are going to amend it again, then Citizenship Act will be diluted, and Assam will be suffered more. Probably you know that at the time of partition, Assam taken a lot of burden.
Yeah.
When Gopinath Borloi opposes it, then Nehru written a letter to the Gopinath Borloi that if you not accept the people of the East Pakistan, then the financial grant will be going to stop. And again then in 1965 war with Pakistan and Bharat and Pakistan,
Yeah.
then lot of people came from East Pakistan and they also rehabilitated in Assam. And 1971 war also,
That is a slightly-
liberation war,
Right.
that a lot of peoples come.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And therefore, amendment of the citizenship is not going to fulfill the purpose of the
Well-
Assam.
well,
Assam
that is-
became the indigenous people of the Assam, maybe Hindu, maybe Muslim, became minority.
Right.
Therefore, it should
that is
not
true.
question
That
of
is true. You are
amendment of
talking
the
about the
Citizenship
fallout
Act
of the
does not
Citizenship
arise.
Act. But Mr. Pradut Bodloy, what the WikiLeaks talked about was basically that Sonia Gandhi had offered to amend the Foreigners Act that could help the illegal migrants. And Mr. Tarun Gogoi was accused of trying to come up with an alternative to the IMDT Act, which was against the interest of Assam, which was scrapped by the Supreme Court. So these are the two WikiLeaks disclosures, the two major WikiLeaks disclosures. Mr. Pradut Bodloy, your response.
Wasbir, the WikiLeaks are very conveniently leaked, politically conveniently. I'll tell you why. The WikiLeaks are basically nobody depends on WikiLeaks. For example, I want to tell you, some obscure American official might send a cable to Washington DC, and that is purportedly being released at WikiLeaks. That is not accepted by the people. For example, I want to tell you, here Mr. Bijan Mahajan is also there. According to WikiLeaks cable, that BJP leader Subramaniam Swamy was supposed to be a spy of a foreign country, but that was not accepted.
But let's not divert the topic. Let's focus. Let us focus. Let us focus on. Let us focus.
Can I have an answer? Can I have an answer? Only thing is this. I will not name any political party. Which political party is known in India since independence? As it indulges in vote bank politics, people of India know. Who goes for minority appeasement, people of India know. And
Ankita Datta,
WikiLeaks
you have to
disclosure.
respond.
There is a
Ankita
nail
Datta.
in the coffin.
There's no question
what
of,
it has
there's
done,
no
what it
question
has
of
said.
playing
Let
good
him
bank
respond.
politics,
That is the
but what I'm
general
saying,
Let him respond. Let Pradut Bodloy respond.
Further
That is
re-established
what I'm
it.
trying to
Which
tell you.
party goes for minority
And
appeasement?
whatever-
Which party goes for
No,
vote
no,
bank
let
politics?
Pradut
Let me
Bodloy
hear you
respond.
out.
Let Pradut
Hello.
Bodloy respond. Yes.
You
Pradut
just
Bodloy
hear me
respond.
out. Okay. See, first thing, whatever is being now spread, according to us, that is all fabricated lies and unfounded and baseless, all fabrication. There's no ground at all whatsoever. Never ever Congress
but the
president,
the fact that Sonia Gandhi said
during the
this was
election
in a
of
public meetings. That is
suggested like
was
this.
said in public meetings, not in any conversation with the Americans.
Exactly.
But Sonia Gandhi said this, Ankita.
No, Wasbir.
Sonia Gandhi
Why don't
ji.
I
No,
challenge you
public
to play
meeting.
this public meeting? If you have a
Actually,
video
in
clip or audio clip,
2006,
please
Sonia
play it.
Gandhi ji, while addressing the party workers, she said, and I quote, "We are totally against infiltrators and we are against influx. But in the name of influx, genuine Indian citizens cannot be harassed." And that was when she said that against this. And the WikiLeaks are intangible and there is no proof about it. And also, if WikiLeaks is so correct, BJP said they said it during 2014 that Modi is incorruptible, and then later Julian Assange had come up and said that WikiLeaks never made a statement like that or never reflect a statement such as
Let us not go by
that.
the authenticity of
Was
WikiLeaks.
reflected.
Whatever WikiLeaks has said
And
is a genuine truth.
What about
Who goes
Panama
for,
Papers? What
vote
about
bank
Panama
politics?
Papers
Who
then?
goes for
What about
minority
Panama
appeasement?
Papers?
Everyone knows.
Let's
The
also
answer is
talk
there.
about the
And
Panama
WikiLeaks
Papers that
latest
WikiLeaks
disclosure
are. Why
is a nail in
just
the
pick up
coffin.
random things and hot
Okay,
topics?
Ankita Datta says, let us also talk about the Panama Papers, but this is not the debate for the Panama Papers. Mr. Prafulla Kumar Mohanto has to leave. Mr. Mohanto,
No, it is relevant.
Are you,
Wasbir. How
Mr.
can you have double standard? How
Mr.
can you have double standard? There's another thing. WikiLeaks also said.
No, I don't have any double standards.
Before 2014,
yeah.
WikiLeaks also mentioned about Narendra Modi that he
But,
was engineering the
Congress
communal
takes
fascist in
credit
Gujarat.
for NRC
That is why
application in
America
Assam, but
prohibited
it in
the
Delhi
entry of
talks Rajya
Narendra Modi
Sabha.
in
Is it not
America.
double standard?
So these
The
are all
double standard is
WikiLeaks.
the highest order, and that is in the public domain.
No, let the veteran politician. I'll go to the veteran political leader, Prafulla Kumar Mohanto. Prafulla Kumar Mohanto, what is going on? We have seen the politics of citizenship in Assam for the last 40 years, and now when we are about to get a list of citizens, that is the NRC, there is politicking going around. Are you happy? Are you sad? Are you worried?
I think that political parties should not play with this. We want impartial and genuine Indian citizens register, and I think that every party or every person should help it. And Supreme Court is monitoring it. Therefore, we must follow the order of the Supreme Court on this case.
Right, but are you?
And
are you happy?
I request to the Mamata Banerjee also to prepare the NRC for West Bengal also.
Okay, that is a point. Prafulla Kumar Mohanto wants an NRC in West Bengal as well. But some of your party leaders have been going around meeting opposition political parties in the entire country, and Mamata Banerjee is also one of them. Do you want the AGP officially to tell Mamata Banerjee to come up with an NRC in West Bengal? Should the AGP officially tell Mamata Banerjee?
Yes, so why not? Well, I think that every state should follow Assam, and for every state NRC should be prepared. And Government of India should take a bold step and instruct the Registrar General for this to prepare the NRC on their own states.
Okay, on this note, here I would like to thank Mr. Prafulla Kumar Mohanto. But Bizun Mahajan, you have to also answer quite a few questions, because there seems to be at least a section in the BJP who is not happy at all with the NRC. They are saying that there are a lot of errors in the NRC. Ashok Shingal is one of them. We have seen earlier Rajen Gohai making a statement. We have seen Siladitya Deb making a statement. How will you defend that?
No, definitely. How will I define that? I cannot define that.
How will you defend, not define?
No, it's a question. See, some views, there are views.
Don't say that you are a democratic party and so everybody has the right.
No,
you have to answer.
I have never, I'll never say that. That BJP stand is, it should be the stand of all political party, that the final, it is the draft NRC, when the final NRC comes out, there every Indian citizen's name should be included, and not a foreigner's name should be included. But every Indian's name should be included, Indian citizens, but not a foreigner's name should be included. That means each foreigner's name should be excluded. That should be the policy of all political parties, and this message should go to the people by all political parties, so that on ground zero there is no
but
violence.
you have not answered my
but
question.
it is being ignited from outside. That should be stopped.
Why are 3 to 4 important leaders of your party talking against the NRC, saying that questioning the exercise, questioning the correctness of the exercise?
Let us go by the party view. The NRC, when the final NRC comes out, every Indian citizen's name should be there. Not a foreigner, not a single foreigner's name should be there. That is the policy of the government, policy of the party.
Right. Pradut Bordoloi and Ankita Datta, anyone can answer this. Are you happy? Are you happy with the NRC? Do you doubt the exercise? After all, we cannot doubt because this is a Supreme Court directed, monitored exercise. Still, some of the BJP leaders have raised questions. What are your thoughts? What do you think? We all know that this is only a draft and ample opportunity is being given to everybody to file claims and objections. Both of you.
See, Wasbir, this is a saving grace that Honorable Supreme Court is monitoring this. But despite of this, the NRC, the draft, is full of gaps and errors. Because it is everywhere, you can find there are a lot of mistakes, there are a lot of errors, you know, and every family, 3-4 members are missing from the list. If father is there, you know, wife is not there, or son is there, or daughter-in-law is not there, everywhere. And lot of people from every community, caste, creed, and religion are left out.
Yeah, I think we have got a slight audio problem.
There are 40 lakhs people's.
We have got a slide. We are fixing the audio problem with you. Just give me a minute, Dr. Pradut Bordoloi. Ankita, how do you take it from there?
See,
Okay,
it is very
I'm
clear
leaving it to
that
Ankita.
we all want a correct NRC and we want all Indians to be incorporated in the NRC and we do not want any foreigners in our state. That is very clear even from the Congress party's point of view. But what we are saying is, in this NRC, draft NRC that has been published, 40 lakhs, 77,700 people,
40 lakhs, 7,000. 707.
Yeah, some people names are missing, and
Yeah.
in those people from the same family, one person
Yeah, let's
is
not
there,
go
the
into
other
that.
person is
But,
there. People
yeah.
serving in the Indian army, their names are missing. So
Okay, but you know, a lot of people are giving this example of Fakhruddin Ali Ahmed's family, but they have not even applied.
But only thing is
They have
this,
not
this
even
is a
applied.
draft NRC. This is the draft NRC. By claims, names can be included. By objections, name can be deleted. So errors here and there, these are I do not know. Under the supervision of the Supreme Court, this is the draft. In draft, there may be some inclusions and some exclusions. And how corrective measures can be taken by way of entering names and deleting names subsequently. Claims and by putting objections.
Yes.
So what wrong is there in the exercise? Some names may have been excluded in the draft,
It's
but
not
those would
some
be included.
names. It
Those
is
would be included in the
40
final NRC,
lakhs,
provided they are Indian
770.
citizens. It should be the perspective. It should be the promise of all political parties that nobody should do politics. We should promise to the people of Assam that every Indian citizen's name should be there in the final NRC,
Now,
and not
that's
a
what
foreigner's name should
precisely
be there
we
in
are
the
saying as
Let me
final
ask-
NRC.
let me-
That should be the promise by all political parties
Yes,
to the
Ankita.
people, and that's it.
Yes, you were saying something.
no, that is what precisely even the Congress party is saying. We do
Then let's
not
stop
want
it there.
foreigners.
Let
We
us
do
stop
not
it
want
there. Some
foreigners
in the
in our
draft,
state.
there are some
It is
names
about
have not been
Assam. It
included.
is about
At the
the
behest
state
of the
I'm
Supreme
born
Court,
in.
it
It
has
is
been
about
carried
my
out. So in
identity,
the
my
final
people.
draft,
It is not
by
about
way of
anything
claims
else.
and
Let
objects,
me go
names
to
should be
Don.
included and
I'll
names
come
should
to
be
Sheila
excluded.
Bora and Sunil Nath, but Donald Thaba, you know, now this whole anti-foreigner agitation has widened. Once again, we are seeing second round of the anti-foreigner agitation in Northeast. Let's talk about Meghalaya. Now, you are suddenly increasing the drive to look at illegal migrants. You fear that a lot of people from Assam may go. But do you think that we have to make a distinction between outsiders, that means people from other parts of India, and illegal migrants? Do you think it is extremely important for student organizations and other stakeholders to make a very clear distinction?
Yes, a distinction is there. We understand it very clearly between outsiders, which means that people who are not indigenous in Meghalaya, and also immigrants who are coming from other countries illegally. But let me state one thing: we are a minuscule community. If a horde of people came from Bangladesh, Nepal, Bihar, or maybe even from Syria or any other country, then there is a huge possibility that we will be reduced to a minority. Ever since the KSU was established, right from 1978 until date, we used to conduct check and raids on people with dubious antecedents. Well, we wanted to safeguard the rights of our community. We wanted our community not to be second class in our own place. And but based with regards to this issue of the NRC, currently our drive is not against outsiders, but we are focused on the NRC rejects, which we consider them as illegal immigrants. Yes, we understand that this is not the final list, it is just the final draft, but who knows, the number of NRC rejects might be more than 40 lakhs, it might be less than 40 lakhs. So we have to be cautious, we have to be alert. And yes, the infiltration check gates of the government do exist, but they are ill-equipped and not properly manned. They don't even have a vehicle for their service. So what do? This is the need of the hour.
So
what? Maybe one day in a short span of time, thousands of people can enter into our state. So that's why we set up those check gates. But those check gates last only for one day. After we were assured by the government that stringent measures will be taken, and yes, the next day itself we met the Deputy Chief Minister, who assured us that temporary check gates will be set up with the
right. Dr. Sheila Bora, you know, are you fearful today that, you know, as the basic premise of this whole debate is that the agitation has expanded? As you very rightly said, it has got various dimensions now. One is the illegal migrants, the second is the inner line permit, everything has been mixed up. Now, do you think it might lead to greater xenophobia not in Assam? Assam, we are aware of the situation, but in states like Arunachal Pradesh, in states like Meghalaya, even Mizoram, do you think, and Nagaland, do you think in these 4 states particularly there is scope for xenophobia creeping in or sweeping?
I surely feel that there is all the scope. Though there shouldn't have been, it is so clear that this is only a draft. People.
No, the issue is also very clear. Issue of illegal migration.
Also very clear. The process is also very clear. It's a draft, and people naturally, it is very natural. If the son's name is there, the father's name has to be there. It's a mistake, so he'll get a chance to rectify. So I don't know what the fear is about, but things already look like slipping beyond our hand. For example, in Arunachal now, the Students' Union is saying there are touts on the Assam border who are supplying illegal ILPs. You know, they are and allowing them to go there.
But let me tell you a fact, Dr. Sheila Bora, is this. Recently, all Arunachal Students' Union raided 2 shops in Arunachal Pradesh, and the shop owner was distributing, he was engaged in this whole trade of supplying fake inner line permits. That is also a fact.
Yeah, so it's a very dangerous thing now that's happening. So if this goes on, there'll be a tremendous chaos. Firstly, and then in Nagaland, we heard that from Imphal border, 9 people have been turned back. Now, are the people who are examining the ILPs or the permits qualified to do that? Who are the people who are doing this?
Okay, you are coming to this point of law being taken in one's own hands. Mr. Sunil Nath, how are you looking at this situation? Do you fear that there could be xenophobia?
Yes, I do fear that there could be xenophobia, but I think the reason would be otherwise. Why it would happen? Because we are talking about Arunachal. I have been to Arunachal for so many years. 20 years back, the demographic situation in Arunachal, and today the demographic situation in Arunachal has a different picture. Yes, these are Indian citizens. I do agree, they are Indian citizens, but
they are in hordes.
Yes,
that's what you were saying.
If they come in hordes and inundate the local population, would it be fair?
Okay, that is the moot point. But coming back to the whole politics of the NRC, Bijan Mahajan, what's going on? We have seen Mamata Banerjee, and Ankita has to answer a lot of questions there. When Mamata Banerjee made that, civil war remark, civil war threat, then the state Congress president was very quick to condemn it. But another Congress leader, very senior Congress leader in Assam, Susmita Dev, who is an MP, and a very close aide of Congress President Rahul Gandhi. She said that, oh, you know, the MP delegation from Trinamool Congress should be allowed to come. She even wrote a letter to the Chief Secretary of Assam as to why they were not allowed to come and why they were detained. Bijon Mahajan, then I'll come to Ankita.
This has happened where you know, a political party must talk in one voice. If the right hand of a political party doesn't know what the left hand is doing, I do not know what would be the ultimate fate of that political party. Kindly see. I'm not blaming any political party. This is the factual matrix, what has happened.
I fully agree with you that political parties have to speak in one voice.
Can I
hinting at?
Can I place it like this?
Yes.
Can I place it like this? But now, at least, the local units of the political party, they must all unite. Again, we are citizens of this country. Definitely we are citizens of this country, but we are residents of Assam. There should be a foolproof NRC. Again, I am repeating and again putting emphasis on it. All should work together that the final draft, this is the draft, when final NRC comes out, all Indian citizens' names should be included and not a foreigner's name should be
That's true.
included.
That is the
and
whole
for
idea.
that we must work together. Now what has happened?
Work
Possibly
together. That means, are you saying that BJP and Trinamool also should work together?
No, I am not meaning that. Trinamool doesn't have any root here. Trinamool
No, I
doesn't
just
have.
wanted to
You don't
clarify.
put words into my mouth.
No,
I am
I'm
not meaning
clarifying.
that.
I'm seeking a
not.
clarification
No,
from you.
don't do that. Don't put words into my
I
mouth.
never
What I
did
mean
that.
is
I only wanted a clarification
Trinamool has no
from
role
the honorable
here. No root here.
spokesperson of the
What I
BJP.
meaning, Trinamool has no root here. What I meaning is this. Nobody should say one thing in Assam, claim credit for NRC and stall parliament in Rajya Sabha. Why? Because you are thinking about a grand alliance in 2019. Congress should be working in tandem with Trinamool. That should not be the policy. That is why different set of statements by different political leaders belonging to that particular political
Respond. Ankita, respond.
See,
Two different stands of your party leaders.
there has not been two differences. The party stance is clear on NRC and on the issue that Indians, original Indian citizens should not be cut off from the NRC draft list or the list. Final list.
Answer this question on why your party president who had condemned the very, very provocative remark of West Bengal Chief Minister and Trinamool leader, and why your MP Sushmita Dev supported the Trinamool delegation.
Sushmita Dev ji also spoke about those students who were coming in to Assam through the Meghalaya border and they have been disturbed or been harassed. So at the same time she spoke about them as well. So it's not that, and I haven't heard of a statement where she has said that where she supports Mamata Banerjee ji's statement on the civil war thing.
So that is a different story, but when the delegation was detained in Silchar...
Is the Congress not talking in two voices? That should be made clear.
No, when the delegation was, Trinamool delegation was detained at Silchar airport, it was getting full support from the local MP, that is Sushmita Dev, who also wrote to the state chief secretary saying that this is wrong and the delegation should be allowed to move into Silchar. That is the question we are raising, but that is history
Congress
as of now.
Trinamool doesn't make stands with fellows. They may switch sides.
That is history. Sunil Nath, I mean, at the end of the day, there is brisk politicking over the issue, which is extremely dangerous.
Yes, and sometimes it gets hilarious too. And sometimes very perplexing.
Hilarious.
You know, like,
that is the word used by Sasi Tharoor today. Yesterday, actually, they said that the headgear worn by the Nagas are hilarious because it has feathers. That is also a ridiculous statement we heard.
May I put in my fact?
Yes.
See, Bijanda has been saying that yes, Congress leaders are speaking in two voices, one in Barak Valley, one in Delhi or whatever it is. But Bijanda, my humble submission to you, that regarding illegal immigrants, will we hear two voices from BJP regarding who is a Hindu or who is a Muslim? Will there be any differentiation between
I would have answered
illegal
your question. Had you represented any political party? It's better I leave it to the audience.
No. You have to answer because we are all members of the civil society. Every single individual is a member of the civil society.
BJP has been saying only in one voice, and the party voice is this: the NRC, which should be there after 6 months, in that final NRC, again I am repeating, all Indian citizens' names should be included, not a foreigner's name should be there in the final NRC. That is the
Okay,
aim of the
that
political party,
shows
that is Bharatiya Janata Party.
Okay, I have a question for you, sir. If that is the case, if we all are so committed to the issue, then why in the year 2013, the deportation numbers I have here, in 2013 there were 5,234
Can you explain me one thing prior to your question? What is deportation? What is deportation figure? What is deportation? Where from have you got it? What is the deportation
Bangladeshi
figure?
nationals deported to Bangladesh in the year 2016 is 308, in 2017 is 51, whereas in 2013 it was 5,234.
Okay, we'll go for.
Can I ask you one thing? Are you talking about criminals being extradited or foreigners?
No, he's talking about foreigners.
Foreigners.
See, he's talking about foreigners
where does he
being
get the
deported.
data? How
Illegal
it can
migrants
happen?
being deported.
How? If criminals and criminals are extradited, that's a different matter.
She's asking
That's
a
a
very
different matter. That's a different matter.
she's asking a very simple question.
No,
actually.
no. You
I will give you time
don't
to
put
think.
words into her mouth. What she is saying,
No,
the
no,
statistics.
she's saying.
Statistics.
No, nobody is putting words. I
How
don't need
one
to
can
put
be
words.
pushed back? Let her explain that to me.
No, that is not the point. You have to answer that question. I'll come back after this very short break.
Welcome.
Welcome back. Donald Thaba, what is your message to the Conrad Sangma government now? What specific steps do you want the Meghalaya government to take up?
Well, we have met the Deputy Chief Minister on the 1st of August, and through him we have submitted a memorandum to the Chief Minister, whereby apart from properly manning the existing check gates, infiltration check gates, we have also placed before the government a proposal to conduct an exercise which is network is gone.
Okay.
Losing connection.
Okay. Now I think we have lost Donald. He have said that he has met the Deputy Chief Minister and asked him to take action and an NRC type of an exercise that he wants. Now, Ankita, I mean, there is a demand by the tribals in Tripura that there should be an NRC exercise in Tripura as well. Do you think that it can lead to a serious problem in Tripura? Do you think that the BJP government in Tripura will be agreeable to this idea? Now, Prafula Kumar Monta said that there should be NRC in West Bengal. The governor of Assam, among the important people who said that NRC should be a countrywide exercise. I'll ask Bijan Mahajan to answer as well, but Ankita first.
See, NRC being a country-wise exercise will be exhaustive, and second of all, for the tribal states, we have the inner line permit, and as well as if we talk about Meghalaya, under the Congress government, after deliberations with the NGOs and various organizations, they had come up with the Meghalaya Resident Security Act, and it becomes very difficult for a outsider to come and get even a tenant agreement there unless and until there's proper verification from the police and all.
Yeah.
So there are laws in place. What requires right now is proper and strict implementation of those laws.
Bijan Mahajan, Tripura, there is a demand now. Now, the question is, the BJP government in Assam has demonstrated that it had the will to come up with an exercise like the NRC, which is a list of citizens. Do you think your party government in Tripura also should follow suit and accept the demand of the whatever tribal organizations are asking for it?
You see, to be very precise, let us go by the law. Let us go by the Citizenship Rules 2003 as regards NRC. NRC has to be there throughout the country.
List of citizens.
List of citizens.
Right.
It is in Rule 3 or Paragraph 3 because it is a rule. So far as Assam is concerned, it is 4A because of the Assam Act, 4A. So in rest of India, it would be house-to-house enumeration. In Assam, applications were invited from the residents of Assam. That's the difference. But it has to be. Some time back, I went to West Bengal to address a meeting. There, people demanded NRC should be there. Questions were put to us. I only put the law in right perspective because NRC India is an all India phenomenon. It has started in Assam.
Yeah.
By
Very
it is,
nomenclature
and
says.
that difference between rule 3 and rule 4A, rule 4A has come, so somebody takes credit that it was because of tripartite meeting. Yes, modalities cannot do anything. There has to be a law. Law
Right.
came into being in 2009 by that notification.
Now,
Whereby in Assam, NRC updatation, taking into account that corresponding NRC of 1951, applications were invited from the residents of Assam. That is why we all applied. That's the difference. And in Tripura, it has to be there. In West Bengal, now people are demanding other political parties.
Why?
Because NRC is a must.
Yeah.
Then entry of foreigners.
Yeah.
Entry of foreigners, illegal stay, ultimately, those would be curtailed.
Right. Now, Sunil Nath, why I am asking about this question on Tripura. Tripura, the situation is extremely different because the tribals, it was once a tribal majority state. It has been, the tribal population has been completely overwhelmed by large-scale migration after Bangladesh came into being in 1971. Most of them are post-71 migrants. Now, in this kind of a backdrop, do you think that there will be a general appreciation of this idea? Do you think people are going to welcome this idea, the majority population, to have an NRC? It could lead to, if it is on legacy, there could be a lot of problems. Assam, of course, 1971 has been the cut-off date. Any other state, Bijan Mahajan will bear me out, the cut-off date has to be much earlier. Yeah. So I will ask Bijan to clarify on that, but before that, Sunil Nath.
See, in principle, I fully endorse the idea of a pan-Indian NRC because the very nomenclature, national register of citizens,
it's for the nation.
Has to be for the whole nation.
Yeah.
But then again, because of India's own typical demography and history, we have to have some sort of safeguards for the indigenous population of the states concerned. We have to have that. Though we have a pan-Indian citizenship, we will have pan-Indian NRC, but the indigenous people of Assam, the indigenous people of Meghalaya, indigenous people of Bengal, indigenous people of Rajasthan should have some sort of safeguards for their own states.
Sheila Bora, you agree?
I agree to a pan-Indian NRC. Every state must have the NRC, I believe. At least there's no harm in knowing what is the situation like.
Yeah.
Secondly, I feel that this exercise would be much better if also things could be worked out as to what after the post-NRC. What will happen?
What will happen to the people? That is the million-dollar question.
Will they become immigrants? Will they become refugees?
Will they become stateless?
Stateless?
Can they be deported?
How many will become refugees?
Can they be deported?
That is very important.
Is India going to feed them for a long time to come? But let's not go into that.
Because we don't know yet.
Explain for my viewers, what could be the situation in Tripura? Because 1971 we know is the cut-off date for Assam because of the peculiar situation and the Assam Accord. But if there is an NRC in, say, West Bengal or Tripura, the cut-off date cannot be 1971, isn't it?
No, I'll be answering your question. Sira, ma'am has a very pertinent point. One thing, you have said something at the end. I couldn't get you properly. What did you mean by the last two lines of your saying?
I don't remember what I said last two.
Last two lines.
No, I said, I mean...
I could get it half, I couldn't get it half.
Yeah, people must know that if their names are not in the NRC...
You said whether it is stateless...
No, that is I said. What will happen to the people?
The law is very clear. Law is very clear. First, now what would happen? Bear me for a second.
Yes.
Law is now what? Now final draft has come out. Yeah. There will be claims.
No, final draft has come out.
I'm sorry. Final draft has come out.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm scared also. Final draft has come out. Now there will be claims and objects. Now the regional officer, he will send a notice asking for documents, if any. Thereafter, the objector and the claimant both would be heard. An opportunity of being heard would be given to them. Then those applications would be disposed of. Then there will be a list by where names are deleted and where names are included.
Yeah.
Names are deleted by objection, names are included by claims. Then there will be final NRC. But after the final NRC comes out, there will be an appellate authority. What would be the appellate authority?
The Foreigners
That would be a
Tribunal.
designated, no, Foreigners Tribunal, little bit different possibly, because that would be a designated tribunal under the Foreigners Tribunal Order 1964. Within 60 days, when the names are not there, after being left out or after illegally there being names, then there will be an appeal within 60 days before the appellate authority.
So
after
time
the
to
appellate
dispose,
authority,
time to dispose of will be 60 days.
No. Time to claim. Time to appeal is 60 days. Either for the rejectees or for the persons whose name have illegally, wrongly entered. Against them appeals can be heard. That has to be preferred within 60 days. So after the appellate authority disposes of those appeals, then there will be a lengthy procedure thereafter as well.
Yes.
So
there
law,
will be a lengthy
India
procedure.
is not a banana republic. Here there are no kangaroo courts.
At the end of the day, long and short, yes,
Law
we have
will
limited
take
time.
its own course, and we must have respect for the judiciary,
so it's
and
going
judiciary
to be
will protect.
It is going to be a lengthy judicial process, but yet I did not get the answer on my Tripura issue. What is going to happen in Tripura? Whether the BJP government in Tripura will be willing at all to have an NRC type of exercise, but that is a different story. Ankita, how do you look at this? What is going to happen to these 4 million cases? As Bijon Mahajan has very rightly said, judicial process will have to take. There will be they have to be determined as foreigners or not only under the Foreigners Act. So it has to go through the judicial process. But if suppose out of these 40 lakhs, assume that 20 lakh people are declared as foreigners, I mean, they don't find their names in the final list, or it may be 15 lakhs, 20 lakhs, 25 lakhs, 30 lakhs. How much time it can take for these 30 lakhs or 20 lakhs cases to be disposed of? It's a huge exercise. Bijan Mahajan knows it well.
It's a huge exercise, and I have heard there are only 100 tribunals regarding handling those cases. So if the number that they have given right now is so huge, I don't think so that kind of figures will be met up by these 100
tribunals. It'll take a long time.
Yes, and throughout that entire process, we would see that those people whose names are under scrutiny, who could be Indian citizens, who could be, because a lot of poor people do not have their pattas and all that, and especially women gets married off to another place, goes from one place to another, so they would face these formal problems. So they would be under constant pressure, constant harassment. So that at the end we'd say that whatever time this exercise takes, genuine citizens should not be harassed. And
is that the fear?
When NRC is being updated at the behest of the Apex Court, let us not worry about the future. Let us talk about today. Here it is 71 today. Let us not talk about the future. And in the future, law will take its own course. Supreme Court is supervising it. Definitely, if more designated tribunals are necessary, Supreme Court will take care of it.
It's not necessary to disagree with everything what people say. I will not disagree with Bijon, but at the same time, it is also important to have a plan of action ready. I'll come to you, Sheila Bora. Donald Thaba, is this exactly the reason why you are more worried? Because until the entire exercise comes to its logical conclusion, these people are free to move around anywhere they like. So they might disappear. Already declared foreigners are disappearing. There are about 800 cases in Borpeta, people who are disappearing. The Assam Police has a website, it's in the public domain. How many declared foreigners have since disappeared? I think the total figure is around 40,000 people who have been declared as foreigners, but they are missing. Now, is this also a major cause of worry for a neighboring state like Meghalaya?
Absolutely, we are very worried because you see, illegal immigration in Meghalaya had been continued on unabated for a very long time, and with the announcement of the final draft of the NRC exercise, we can understand that from the rest of the northeastern states which have ILP and other laws, we are one state which have very few laws that can protect the indigenous communities. So there is a possibility that they will infiltrate into our state. And let me remind you that only one bill, only the Meghalaya Resident Safety and Security Bill, will not be able to protect the indigenous communities. Different laws or different states in the northeastern region, they have numerous laws in order to protect the indigenous communities. We lack those laws. We don't have those laws. We need more and more laws. The more that we can get, the better for the survival of the minuscule community. That's why we demand for an exercise, NRC-like exercise in the state of Meghalaya. We discussed about the cut-off year of 1971. We know that illegal immigration had been there in Arunachal Pradesh and Tripura even before 1971. That's why we are saying an NRC-like exercise. An NRC which is similar to Assam but with different modalities, different conditions, different criteria. Our state at this time, we are very watchful, we are very alert because we understand that Meghalaya is the best place for the illegal immigrants, for those NRC rejects to come because we don't have enough laws to protect the indigenous communities.
Right. Sheila Bora, you were trying to say something, yes.
Yeah. What I was trying to say, another very confusing thing for me, and I would like the panelists here to explain. You see, the number of people I have met whose names are not in the NRC have already acquired Aadhaar cards. What happens to these people? Where do they go? Because they are now, jobs are open for them, everything is open for them, except maybe the voting rights. What happens?
They can go anywhere in the country because they have the Aadhaar card.
In the country.
Okay, that's a very, very relevant question. Bijan Mahajan, how do you like to explain that? That's a very important question which Dr. Sheila Bora has raised.
Well, see, now question is this, even if we debate, we cannot find out a solution. Courts are to decide because for now we are debating on NRC. That's another offshoot has come up that somebody has Aadhaar card, his or her name is not there included. It would be by way of Aadhaar card what can happen that the NRC authorities would decide. But ultimately who would decide? The court has to decide.
Entire legality of the Aadhaar card itself is under the examination of the Supreme Court. That is also there, isn't it?
Exactly. For that there has to be not a 1 hour show, that has to be a many hour show. And you should be the anchor because a lot of things we are to learn also. And
no, I don't mind you being the anchor because this will be a legal issue.
No, I'm a student of law. You know better law than me. I really appreciate it.
I never claimed that. Don't put word in my mouth. Don't put words in my mouth.
But one thing, can I just
yes.
put in? Now, kindly see, you must respect the people of Assam. Other people, rank outsiders,
yes,
not stakeholders, they are trying to create a situation
where there is none.
On ground zero,
yes,
there is no negative situation. So Indians must, pan-Indian feeling, this should be, pinpointed and through the ballot thrown.
I think,
and another aspect,
Ankita, you agree
the people of Assam, one thing,
yeah.
I'm not blaming Congress. Let us put the things in right perspective.
Yes.
2 revenue circle pilot projects. 2 revenue circles, Soigaon and Borketa, ended in disaster because of law and order situation. The will of the government at that point, I'm not naming any party, was not there. Had it been there, in 2 places it could not be controlled. Now the state government, of course BJP is now in power, there is not a single incident of violence. You must appreciate the government and the people.
But irrespective of government, one thing, Ankita, we must all admit that contrary to all fears, I think Assam has been able to, the civil society, the stakeholders, the authorities,
and
everybody, the political parties, all political parties, they have been extremely responsible, I would say, as far as Assam is concerned. That is why the situation is so peaceful. People are waiting for their opportune time to file claims and objections. We don't know what happens later on, but as of now, it has been extremely peaceful, and we must admit that.
See, and for that, I would have to thank the people of Assam.
Yes.
Because
and not the government.
First, we have to tell
you say law and order is a state subject.
Government is a part of the people. Government is a part of the people.
The people of the state
the
wants
government
this exercise,
because law and order is a state subject.
And
fortunately, BJP is in power now.
No, fortunately, BJP is in power. That is what you are saying. But the rest of the country is not saying.
No, you don't carry the brief for the rest of the country.
No.
You carry the brief for yourself. I'm carrying the brief for myself.
No,
you don't carry the brief for the country.
When you make
don't
a statement like that, then I'll have to say something.
No, you can say anything, but you carry the brief for yourself. I carry the brief for myself. We don't carry the brief for the entire country. How can you be?
Let us speak.
See, it is essentially the people of the state wants it, and they have peacefully accepted it. Whatever procedures the Supreme Court have laid and have been watching it, the people has respected it. And at the same time, I would say that it was a much needed exercise which was going on, and the Congress party had thought about it long time ago and put forward steps also to do it. So claiming saying that it is entirely, the whole peaceful situation is entirely because of the BJP government or their thing, it is
Again,
not
you are
appropriate.
politicizing the issue.
Law and order is a
Because
state
you are
subject.
saying- because you
Law
are
and order
saying-
is a state subject. Government here is a BJP, and definitely
But
BJP
it is the
Again,
government
you
people,
must
are-
take
but the
credit
people-
That is
for
the
it.
problem with
it
the
is
political
people-
parties.
it is the
And
people-
Congress
it
is
is the
claiming
people
credit
who was-
herein for this thing, for this draft NRC which has been published, but at the same time they are disrupting parliament, hand in glove with this thing,
We are not disrupting the parliament.
because of one reason, that they are thinking about the Grand Alliance in 2019 to dislodge the present dispensation. This is ridiculous.
As
Living
a-
in fool's paradise.
As a citizen of Assam, I would like to say that I'm very happy this exercise is completed, and I would like to thank each and every person, all political parties, including the Congress, for being patient and letting this thing be published and in a peaceful manner. And whatever, speaking is one thing, but we have allowed this to happen very peacefully. Everyone, I think, needs to be congratulated on
BJP.
this, including
Including Bijan Mahajan.
BJP,
Yes.
of course, BJP is in the party. I'm
Including
especially
Bijan
saying-
Mahajan has to be congratulated. I'm not joking there. Donald Thaba, what is your, as a concluding remark, what would you like to tell the political parties? I mean, all political parties, that's what I mean. What is your message to the political parties now?
You see, when the NRC is being updated, when it's being carried out in Assam, there is a hue and cry in the entire nation, in the entire country of India. Political parties condemn, political parties supported it. Well, why do you create a ruckus at this time? Why are they creating a fuss at this time? Why don't, before that, while there is a massive flow of immigrants into the region, nobody raised a voice in parliament. Nobody says save the indigenous communities of the northeastern region. But now when we are doing this, which is legal, that is to flush out all the illegal immigrants, everyone is raising a hue and cry. So it's high time for political parties to come up together in a single platform to strive and work for the betterment of the indigenous people, because we also belong to the country of India. We are more Indians than those illegal immigrants from Bangladesh or any other country. We are more Indians than them.
Absolutely, they are of course not Indians at all. Yes, Sunil Nath, what are your concluding remarks?
Well, my concluding remark would be to take this opportunity to thank Mr. Biswajit Doibari, who, upheld the honor of Assam that day in Parliament. My final salute goes to him.
The NRC should be, when the final NRC comes out, it must include all Indian citizens' names, and not a foreigner's name should be included. That should be the aim of all political parties, and that is the aim of the people of Assam.
Ankita.
I would reiterate to that this is what the citizens of this country want, the people of our state wants, and in the name of NRC, no genuine Indian citizen should be harassed, and I have complete faith in the Supreme Court, and the procedure which has been laid will be duly followed by the people.
And an appeal should be there from the anchor that when on ground zero there is peace, no outsiders should be allowed to poke their nose into the business of Assam, and with that note it should end, because others who do not have any right, so far as Assam is concerned, they are trying to create problems, and this should be stopped at the earliest.
So you have made my task easier because you have already made that appeal, so I'll have to make a different appeal. Yes, Sila Bora.
Yes, I also agree to this, and I think we have overcome the major hurdle.
Yeah.
The other hurdles which we are going to confront are not as big as the hurdle which we have completed, and I'm sure that will also pass off peacefully and in the way we want. Of course, there is a little fear in my mind. It's sad or good, I don't know, to see that all our neighboring states now have the same fear as we had when we started our Assam movement, of losing our identity, of being swamped by outsiders. So now that fear has come in the minds of the others, and if the NRC exercise is carried on in those states as well, it is a genuine fear, then they need protection as well, and I think we need to support their fear.
Absolutely.
As long as there is
I am
no...
so thankful to you, ma'am. Sabka saath, sabka vikas. We must work together. There should be a foolproof NRC.
Yes.
All Indians' names should be included.
Yes.
Not a foreigner's name should be there in the final NRC. Sabka saath, sabka vikas.
Finally, if you give me some time, Bijon Mahajan, all good conversations has to come to an end. Thank you very much for this very engaging debate. At the end, I would like to basically say that we have reached a penultimate stage of preparation of a list of citizens in Assam, and as everyone has said, that we want a list that is free from names of illegal migrants and that is inclusive of every single Indian, and appeal to all the political parties to stay away from this, not politicize the issue. I mean, when I say stay away from this, means only not politicize this issue, stick to the procedures, let the Supreme Court do its job and the machinery do its job. And of course, to our neighboring states, yes, their fears are genuine, people are disappearing, declared illegal foreigners are disappearing, and of course, while engaging in this exercise to detect illegal migrants, they must make a clear distinction between people from outside the country who are working or living in those particular states and the illegal migrants. This distinction is extremely necessary, otherwise it will be nothing but xenophobia. On that note, we end this edition of Northeast Tonight. I thank all my panelists for having been present in this show. Good night and goodbye.